Welcome to The Naomi Show. Hi there, and I'm joined today by Katia Loisel-Furey, who's a body language expert, and she's here to talk about how you can tell if your partner is lying or is cheating on you. Now, what sort of body language gives you away if you're lying?
Look, when it comes to lying body language, we always look for a cluster of 3 to 5 signals. And of course, that cluster changes depending on the other emotions involved. For example, if someone's cheating on you, they might feel very nervous, and that's going to change the signals. So generally when someone's lying, you know, when we lie, basically our throat gets very dry. So our lips and our mouth get dry. So you might see a lot of swallowing as they tend to try and lubricate their throat.
Right.
Or a lot of, you know, lubricating the inner mouth. Or pushing the lips together in order to try and stop what we're saying from coming out. The thing
Isn't that interesting? Because it's almost as if they're trying to stop themselves from saying it, isn't it?
You know, the thing is, we lie often, but our bodies don't. So our non-verbal leakage tells the other person that we're lying. So absolutely. You might also see sometimes people will, you know, cover their hands. Or it might just be
covering the hand over the face and the mouth. It's almost again that kind of blocking, the same as a person.
See no evil, hear no evil. You might see scratching of the ear, any kind of nervous touching. You know, it might also mean that they're nervous. But you know, you also see a lot of micro gestures, and micro gestures are those tiny little gestures that we very, very rarely can fake. You know, you might see twitching of the eye. You might see blushing or flinching. You might see people sort of go back as they're saying something because they're trying to distance themselves from what they're saying. You might also notice that somebody is talking and, you know, they are trying to say, I believe in this, and they're, you know, doing the sign of the cross. Like this, no, they're
because they're trying to say no, but they're trying to say yes at the same time.
So really what we're looking for is incongruence in our body language. We're saying something, but our body language is saying something else. You know, obviously averted eyes or a lot of blinking sort of gives us away. And you'll usually find when someone's lying, they tend to pause an awful lot. And that's the one thing that really gives us away, is these really long pauses, almost as they try and manufacture something. You know, some people will fill it with loads of details, and other people will find it really hard almost to speak. So definitely some signs to look out for. Just some of the signs.
And what you're saying there is a cluster of those signs is what you're looking for, not just one in isolation or one or two. It's really when you've got a couple of those things going on that you might sort of say, look, it looks a little bit suspicious. Yeah,
and you know, the thing about body language is that, you know, our intuition is fantastic. And, you know, often you get a gut feel about someone that's not quite right. You think, oh, something doesn't sit well with you. And we tend not to listen to that. But if we did, we would avoid half the problems in our lives, I can promise you. So if your instinct tells you that something's not right, then perhaps just ask them. Obviously don't say, are you cheating? But if you say, you know, you might say, look, you've been a bit distant, is everything okay? If you notice that they start flinching, put more personal distance between you, then you'll be able to start seeing some of the signals that say that they're feeling very nervous or uncomfortable about the situation. And then obviously look for their changes in behaviour or their routine, which will back it up.
So when you're talking about cheating, and not just lying, but cheating, there are actually some really unusual little behaviours that might creep into their body language, aren't there?
Absolutely. Well, what we do is we tend to transfer, you know, the body language we use, because we also, as a couple, we sort of have our little habits, if you like. And sometimes when you're with somebody else, you can transfer some of those habits onto your new partner. So they might hold your hand differently, cuddle differently, spoon differently. If all of a sudden, if you've been sleeping apart and then all of a sudden they're spooning you, you know, women who have affairs tend to put a more emotional distance between their partner. But if it's a guy, you might find that, you know, all of a sudden he wants to try more things and wants more physical closeness than before. So men and women are a bit different there.
So some signs to look out for there.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you for that, Katia.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
Your love life, let's talk about it at naomishow.com.